Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 11 of albums that are 50 years old in 2025. That's right. All throughout the month of January, we picked out our 31 favorite albums released in 1975. They're all celebrating their 50th birthdays and anniversaries here this year. A lot of great albums in 1975, right? It was a great year for music. And hello from somewhat snowy Hudson Valley here this morning on Saturday morning. So we have a little dusting of snow here. It's pretty chilly out. And yeah, winter's here. And honestly, my pick today is very much a winter album for me. Always has been. This album was released on May 9th, 1975, recorded at Rockfield Studios in Monmouth. Produced by the band themselves for, depending on where you live, United Artists in the UK and Europe, Atco here in the States, Liberty Records in Japan. I'm talking about the space rock classic Warrior on the Edge of Time by Hawkwind. Yes. Oh, this is such a good album. There is the fifth studio album from this band. The kings of psychedelic space rock. Heavy psychedelic space rock, right? This is one of their great albums. It's kind of a concept album, based on the Michael Moorcock novel, The Eternal Champion, right? Of course, this features what many people consider the classic lineup of the band. Dave Brock on guitars, vocals, keyboards, Nick Turner, saxophone, flute, vocals, Lemmy, otherwise known as Ian Kilmister, on bass guitar and vocals, Simon House, violin, keyboards, synth, and mellotron, Simon King, drums and percussion, and Alan Powell, drums and percussion. And Mr. Michael Moorcock himself even shows up, does a little bit of vocals on the album, right? So, what does this album contain? All sorts of goodness, right? It starts off with the amazing Assault and Battery, which is kind of like a two-part. You got Assault and Battery and The Golden Void, right? Ah, so good. So good. That haunting mellotron to start the album off, right? The really... The vocals on this album are just like kind of otherworldly. They're so like eerie and like kind of like sci-fi-ish, right? There's this kind of, that's why I said it's a great winter album. It's like this coldness to this album, which I think is really, really unique. And that's just such a great 1-2 punch to start off the album. So good. The Wizard Blew His Horn is up next, a little short, a little piece, right? You got all these, like I said, all these weird kind of very robotic kind of vocals on this album. Then you got the great Opaloka, which is just intoxicating, and like the bass, Lemmy's bass on here is just so alluring, right? And you got the vocals, but it's kind of funky space rock sort of thing. Then you got the Soaring, the Demented Man over on side 2 of the original vinyl. You got the great Magnu, right? Nick Turner's sax is so cool on that, right? That's the weird thing about this band, right? You have all these elements that shouldn't work, but they do. Nick Turner is kind of like squonking, like free jazz sax mixed with this kind of heavy throbbing space rock sound, all these blipping synths and things, heavy riffs. Just like it shouldn't make sense, but it does. Magnu's great. It's one of the longer tracks on the album. You got then you got a couple of really cool tracks. You got Standing at the Edge, Spiral Galaxy, 28948. Right? Again, very spacey, very weird type of thing. Weird vocals. Warriors is up next, and then you got the unbelievable Dying Seas. And again, some of these songs are fairly short. You wish they were longer, right? And then finishing off the album is the great rocker Kings of Speed, which has just a great chorus. It's just a great space rock anthem, if there is such a thing as a space rock anthem. Again, pretty short. It's just over 3 minutes long. Kings of Speed is awesome. Got that throbbing bass from Lemmy. And then, of course, I'm going to mention it because it was recorded during the sessions of this album, and it's always included as a bonus track on most of the CD versions, is Motorhead. Of course, sung by Lemmy, written by Lemmy, and that became the band that he would leave when he left Hawkwind, right? He would then go form his own band and call it Motorhead, and of course bring that song along with him. So it's always kind of weird if you're a Motorhead fan, you never really listen to Hawkwind all that much, and you go hear the Hawkwind version of the song Motorhead. It's very different. Right? It's still the essence is kind of the same, but man, you got the sax in there and all the synths and everything like that. It's still that throbbing beast of a song that it always was. But yeah, it's just interesting to hear it played by where it was actually created, right? So charts, Australia, this made it to number 91. UK album charts made it to number 13. US Billboard charts peaked at number 150. Okay, and then with the reissue in 2013, which I believe is this one that I have here from Cherry Red, yes it is, in Scotland, made it to number 74. I think David Gallagher and Stephen Reed were pushing that, right? UK rock and metal albums made it to number 12 upon the reissue in 2013. And certifications, this only certified in the UK, silver. 60,000 units sold of Warrior on the Edge of Time. And singles from the album Kings of Speed with Motorhead on the flip side was released in March 1975, so right before the album came out. So, yeah, that's my pick for today. Warrior on the Edge of Time. I mean, come on, the album artwork, look at that. That's just absolutely gorgeous. So cool. That's my pick for today. Let us know what you think on Warrior of the Edge of Time by Motorhead, by Hawkwind. It's early, folks. Down in the comments below, but more importantly, your pick for today. Day number 11, and we'll see you tomorrow for number 12. Tune in just a couple hours. We've got the UK connection coming at you this afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe that is 7 p.m. over there in the UK. So I know we'll be seeing lots of you on the premiere of that video. So we'll see you then. Again, non-music day on the UK connection. We're going to be talking about our favorite 70s cop shows. All right, so kind of something a little bit different. We'll see how you guys like that, right? Because I think most people at a certain age, right, grew up with cop shows, whether you were in the UK or the US, right? Cop shows were kind of a big deal then. So yeah, so that's coming up today. We've got tomorrow. We've got ranking the albums. I will be ranking the catalog of the great Swiss heavy rock blues rock band Toad. That's coming up tomorrow. If you never heard Toad before, stay tuned for this show. I think you'll find a band you'll really dig. Some good albums here. We will also have the next episode of What Is It coming up tomorrow. We'll also be doing something a little bit different on that show. We've got Phil Aston joining us from Now Spinning Magazine. He's going to be joining the regular crew of Brendan Snyder, Scott Lay, Grant Arthur, and myself. We're going to be talking about the whole issue of, if you're a collector, what happens when you start running out of room for all this stuff, right? What are some of the ways that you can go and conserve space? So we're going to be kind of talking about that whole concept, because for folks who collect physical media, it's always a problem. At some point, you always start running out of room, and what do you do when you still want to keep collecting, right? So we're going to be talking about some of those ways. That's coming up Sunday evening, tomorrow night. So stay tuned for all that and more. Did I say? Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, our Cameo page, and the Sea Tranquility membership options all down below. And we'll see you soon for all sorts of stuff. Don't forget, Tuesday is in the prog seat. See you then. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.